He was young. He was charismatic. And he carried the weight of a nation during one of the most dangerous moments in human history. John Fitzgerald Kennedy was not just a president. He was a symbol of hope, a voice of courage, and a reminder that leadership demands sacrifice. This is the story of JFK. From fragile child to war hero to the man who stood eye to eye with nuclear destruction. John F. Kennedy was born on May 29, 1917, in Brookline, Massachusetts, into a powerful and ambitious family. His father, Joseph P. Kennedy, believed his sons were destined for greatness. But young John was weak, constantly ill, and often underestimated. Doctors doubted he would live a long life. Pain followed him everywhere. Back pain, infections, exhaustion. Yet inside that fragile body lived a sharp mind and an unbreakable will. Chapter 2, The Shadow of Expectation. John grew up in competition. Especially with his older brother Joe Kennedy Jr., the family's golden child. Joe was the chosen one. John was the observer. But history had different plans. During World War II, John Kennedy joined the U.S. Navy. Despite severe health issues, he insisted on serving. In 1943, his patrol boat PT-109 was struck and sunk by a Japanese destroyer. Kennedy could have saved himself. Instead, he saved his crew, dragging wounded men through the ocean for hours. That night, leadership was born in darkness. He returned home a hero. But tragedy struck again. His brother Joe Jr. was killed in the war. Suddenly, John carried not only his own destiny, but his brother's dreams. Kennedy entered politics not out of hunger for power, but out of duty. He won a seat in Congress, then the U.S. Senate. He was young. Different. Inspiring. America noticed. In 1960, John F. Kennedy defeated Richard Nixon and became the youngest elected president in U.S. history. At just 43 years old, he took office. In his inaugural address, he spoke words that would echo forever. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. America believed again. Kennedy's presidency began in dangerous times. The Cold War threatened the world. The Bay of Pigs. A failed invasion of Cuba embarrassed the young president. He took responsibility. No excuses. The Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962. This was Kennedy's greatest test. Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba. America on the brink of annihilation. For 13 days, the world held its breath. Kennedy chose restraint over rage. Dialogue over destruction. The missiles were removed. Nuclear war was avoided. History would later call it one of the greatest acts of presidential leadership ever recorded. Kennedy stood during a time when America was divided by race. He supported civil rights, speaking directly to the moral conscience of the nation. The rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. His stance cost him political support, but gained him historical respect. Kennedy didn't just defend America. He inspired it. He challenged the nation to reach the moon. Not because it was easy, but because it was hard. That vision would later define American innovation and unity. November 22, 1963. Dallas, Texas. A smiling president. An open motorcade. A hopeful nation watching. Then, gunshots. John F. Kennedy was assassinated. America froze. Dreams shattered. A generation lost its innocence. He was just 46 years old. Kennedy served less than 3 years. Yet his impact was eternal. He proved. Leadership requires courage. Power must serve humanity. Hope can change a nation. He didn't live long enough to see all his dreams fulfilled. But he planted the seeds. John F. Kennedy reminds us that youth is not weakness. Compassion is strength. Leadership is sacrifice. He stood when fear demanded silence. And even in death, he inspired generations. If this story moved you, like the video. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe for more emotional American history documentaries.